Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Look at that. Shonda said I made it back. Today's going to be crazy because she's traveling with the storms and the flooding. It is nuts here in the Sooner State. If you missed the show yesterday, I'm going to start doing more Sunday shows. I can't promise Saturday because I got college football to listen to. It was nuts. Totally insane. Well, this is insane too, because look at this. Sophia Petrillo gifted a Crime Lines and Lies membership. If you got a Crime Lines and Lies membership from our girl, give her a big old howdy and get your umbrella. Come on, get your umbrella. Woo! Tell you what, we have a lot going on this week. Tomorrow, we have to go vote. If you haven't already voted, go tomorrow. Go tomorrow. 60 million Americans still have not voted. My goodness, that's crazy. Now, I'm not going to vote early for many reasons. I want to see that shit go in the machine. I want to see the shit go in the machine. I can't tell you how many packages Amazon has lost for me. You think they're going to, U.S. Postal System is going to keep my vote safe? No. But if you have to, you have to. It works for the military. True Crime Junkie said, I'm one of 60 million. So we're getting out there tomorrow and we're going to vote. Now, I might be a little late. Dang it, what is on my glasses? I might be a little late for the show tomorrow, and it's going to be a big show, my friends. It's going to be a big show because I've got a lot of things to say about another case, but we'll get to that tomorrow. I don't want to cross cases because already today I'm crossing cases. So I might be late because who knows how long I'm going to have to stand there. And a lot of people go and vote early because their election boards are open, and so they could do it right there in person. They know they're good, and they can do it in person. I am too lazy to drive over to North Denver in Tulsa. So I'm going to drive 2 blocks away and I'm going to vote tomorrow. That's how I do it. Look at that, Wanda Green. I'm going to vote come hell or high water. Lisa, I'm going after work tomorrow. True Crime Beat said I voted early. Comrie said, when you vote early in New Jersey, it's done exactly the same way as the polls, and you can track online to show received. That is perfect. I'm talking about the mail-in ballots, the ones that people just drop off somewhere and they find them, like 2 months later. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, I'm going to go tomorrow morning. Not to mention, I saw the lines to get in to vote early. Wow. Listen, unless somebody gives me a beer and a cigarette, I'm not standing in a line that long. No way. Well, as you know, we had some crazy storms this weekend. This is part of our tornado damage. That is right, my friends. Look at that. We did a show yesterday. Cars are turned upside down. It was a wild, wild weekend. Well, let's take a second and tell everyone, glad you're back. It is Monday. Hi, hello, howdy. Sophia said, Brooks, did you find your blow-up turkeys? I did not, but DT Driver did. Now, with everything going on, billboards being blown down, shingles going everywhere with the tornado, my goodness, there's old DT Driver having to chase down my inflatable turkeys. Yes, that is what happened. That is what happened. That was the biggest bitch I had with all the storms. I have no bitches about this, though. Look, Zach Walker gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Look, that criminal med got one. Chrissy Miss Hello. Elaine. Crimson Tide. Woo! But you should have seen my husband chasing those damn turkeys. Thank you so much, Zach Walker. You're the absolute best. So let's get to what's been going on in the Summer Wells case. Let's get to it. This picture is going around. I don't remember the name of the channel. Does anyone know the name of the channel that's putting this out? Because I don't remember. I don't remember. Many people are asking if this little girl is Summer. Well, I have an answer for you. A very simple answer. No. No. This is not Summer Wells. I understand it's great content for some people. Some people could honestly believe it. This little girl is not Summer Wells at all. Reason is she has a family. This little girl, whether she looks like Summer or not, because it's been a few years, okay? Kids change just like we change. Kids are no different. She has a family. I, in my opinion, do not blame the woman at the Travelers Inn in Jonesboro, Arkansas, for calling the authorities because she came across a little girl that looked like Summer. I don't blame her at all. They spoke to her family. They spoke to her. They found out real quick it was not Summer Wells. We can scratch that off our list. When people were going through Facebook profiles, namely of Grandis's, another creator saw a friend of Grandis's with a child that looks like Summer. Okay, even though the grandma that was taking care of the little girl, she knew right off the bat what was going on, okay? They went to the little girl's school. They interviewed her in person. This was in Wisconsin. We could check it off the list. Not her. Let me tell you why Ironclad. Okay, hang on. Daphne said the YouTube channel is Whistle Down. Okay, thank you. Because I've got to give credit. Thank you, Daphne. I forgot who it was, but thank you. I should have wrote that down in my notes. So she has come up with this. I don't see the FBI or anyone else storming this house to find out if this child is Summer or not. What really gets me is that Dawn and Candace are never affected by these sightings. Never. They're never concerned. I find that very odd. Does anyone here find it odd that Dawn and Candace are never affected by sightings? When people believe they have seen Summer, they had no emotion towards what Missing and Exploited put out, saying this is an age progressed picture. So I know another channel, I believe it was last night, said he was going to get a hold of Dawn and Candace to show them this picture. Whether that happened or not, I don't know. Dawn was in jail when the sighting was made in Jonesboro, Arkansas. On another channel, it was brought up to Candace. She lit a cigarette and said, "That can't be her." Instead of, "Oh my God, I've got to get over there and find out now." Much like Seth Rogers, when he heard there was a child that could be Sebastian, North Carolina, he hightailed it. Much like Brandy Neal and Tyler Vaughn, when they heard there was a child that could be Michael in Missouri, little Monkey Vaughn, they weren't even packing up. They were just grabbing what they could to get out the door to go find their son. Much like the family of Sean Hornbeck, when they had a tip that Sean Hornbeck could be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, they were out the door to go look for themselves. These two don't. They're never affected by these sightings. It made me sick at my stomach when Candace said, "That can't be her." It can't be her. How can it not be her? You haven't checked it out. You haven't heard the voice. You haven't seen the mannerisms. Now I will say right now, this child is not Summer. It's already been checked out, and I really wish people would quit putting up pictures of blonde hair, blue-eyed girls saying it's Summer. And I know I will get my ass handed to me later by people going, "But you did it, but you did it, but you did it." It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Have you seen the nuts going, "Oh, that's Summer. Oh, that's Summer. That's Summer"? I saw in these comments, one lady goes, "I can tell because I have a tattoo of Summer Wells on my left shoulder that started to get goosebumps." Do what? Do what? You have a tattoo of a missing child on your left shoulder, and because it didn't get goosebumps, oh, no, I'm sorry, because it did, you know it's Summer. You fucking freaks. Not you all. Let's go to this. Case in point. Anytime a body is found in their area, human remains, Dawn and Candace are not concerned. Think about it. When the child remains were found in West Virginia, correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn said, yeah, we had to give our DNA. He didn't have to give DNA because they already had it. But what he was doing was stirring up another frenzy. That's what he was doing. They have found out who that child is. And yes, it took a while. But they were not concerned. And there's some people that think there is some sort of, crazy conspiracy that child who has already been named and needs to be respected is Summer Wells. But no, I can tell you right now, this is not Summer. This child is in school. This child is in school. I did see a few comments, people saying, oh, it's so easy to fake a birth certificate. You can put any kid in school. Really? Really? Guess I'm behind. I didn't have to make any birth certificates this weekend. But this is getting crazier and crazier with people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. If you want to know the truth, and I'm not going to give out any addresses or anything. Now, this might make some people mad. The little boy across the street from me, he has blonde hair, blue eyes, similar facial features, super short hair, like Summer when she went missing. Obviously, his is a little bit longer. I could say, is this Summer? Is this Summer? How insane is this? But, that's life. It's what we deal with, and it's just going to continue as long as we're on the internet. Now, you know what today is. It is Metabolism Monday. Yeah, if I can get it pulled up. I do see there is a lot of people that just don't want to talk about Summer's case anymore. They're afraid the same thing's going to happen to them that has happened in Sebastian's case. All I'm going to say about the two cases in comparison is this. Sebastian, no comparison to Summer. He is 15. At the time of Summer's disappearance, she was 5. But with both of them, there's no sign of abduction. None. None at all. But we have 2 children that just went poof. They weren't at a friend's house. They didn't leave school early. Nothing like that. Other missing children in the state, you can see what possibly happened. It's just common sense. But it's a poof situation, and I can't stand it. I can't. But if you don't know what Metabolism Monday is, let me freshen you up.
So she said, so the scream, of course, is out of the question now, right? There was no scream, right?
There's no scream, dude. She's maced all that shit up. Lie. I can't lie. It's not in my metabolism.
It's not in her metabolism. She can't lie. Forget it. Children don't just go poof. Zach Walker, thank you for the super sticker. Absolute best. New daddy, beautiful family. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to talk about the Utah connection. No, I am not saying that Jared, the founder of Adventures with Purpose, is any way, shape, or form connected with Don. I'm talking about the laws in Utah, okay? I am talking about the laws. Jared is up to his eyeballs in trouble for what he did and has confessed to many years ago to family members. However, Dawn, there is still no resolution for the Utah case. Now, I know some people will say he was just a kid. He didn't know no better. Well, did Jared? Technically, legally, he was a kid too. So to get you freshened up, oh, look, Shay's Safe Place is here. I'm sorry I missed your girlfriend. Just want to say I'm very happy everyone is here because I understand a lot of people don't want to discuss Summer Wells anymore. And by the way, this is not a shot at the state of Utah. There's something else going on here. Now we're going to start with Jared from Adventures with Purpose, okay? Then we're going to get to Dawn. Because while people want to tell you it's not an open investigation, it is.
Developing now, a man known for helping police solve cold cases finds himself on the other side of the law. Booking records show that 47-year-old Jared Leisek faces charges of rape of a child in Utah. Leisek is the founder of the diving group Adventures with Purpose. They go into waterways to look for clues and unsolved cases. Alleged incidents that he's facing charges for happened in 1992.
Woo! Short and sweet, huh? Short and sweet. Well, our girl at True Crime Reactions, okay, absolutely love. It used to be Jules of All Trade. Now it's Jules with True Crime Reactions. She had quite an update about Jared with Adventures with Purpose. I hate to use words like never or ever because there's no such thing. You know, when you say my child would never do that, well, you get proven wrong real quick. But there is an always. There is an always. And in these cases of child SA, there's always another victim. When they get caught, it was not their first victim. One brave child or adult, much later down the road, speaks out, and then others follow suit and say, yep, that happened to me too. Just like with old Dawn Wells. Jeannie called the TBI. She said, oh my gosh, Summer is 5. I was 5 when he did this to me. then other people followed suit. Now, I do understand there's a couple of channels saying that these people have all gotten together and made all this up. They've all gotten together. If you look at your local inmate roster, okay? Let's say you see someone in there driving down the road and they got found with some POT or an open container. Listen, lightning doesn't strike that way. It's not the first time they did it. It's the first time they got caught. And in my opinion, that's what happened here.
Purpose. You guys that have been here from the beginning, because you guys know that Kylie Rodney is where my channel started. Therefore, that was the first time I was. Jared has now pled guilty because more witnesses and more victims were about to come forward and do more damage. So he decided to cower out and plead guilty to lesser charges.
Okay. She's reading the documents. He cowered out and he pled to lesser charges. Our friend, Two Boston Moms, said statute of limitations in Utah. Forcible SA or incest, 8 years if reported within 4 years. Okay. What I want to know is then how is Jared in such hot water? Because it's a criminal charge. It's not a civil charge. And he's going to serve some time. Now, what I read about the statute, which may or may not help because I'm not a lawyer. Penetration, no statute. Molestation is 8 years. So I need much more information on that, but not from Mr. Google, because Google lies all the time.
This video has like 106,000 views, okay? If you go look at the top comments, it is the only video of mine that I know of. I mean, there could be this exact same scenario on the other Jared videos, but this is the only one of my videos where the top comments are people who don't like what I have to say. People that are taking up for Jared. All because he does good. So do priests and preachers. So do teachers and other people who.
Yeah, I'm going to text her ass and tell her to come up here because she's right. I had the same arguments when I was talking about Jared from Adventures with Purpose. And they're like, leave him alone. He does good things. I'm like, he puts on equipment. He swims around in lakes. He says, this is where they're at, which, by the way, is something I wouldn't do. He gives them the location, which, by the way, is something I couldn't do because I don't even know how to use a fish finder. And he says, get him out. But they give him this inflated sense of how wonderful he is. And they say, he solved a cold case. He solved a cold case. I want to know what is going on in Utah. When Jared's going down, but not Don Wells. They have cooperating witnesses.
who are like prominent in town that end up being the most horrible people around. It's like people forget all the actual stories of things that actually happen out there because it's somebody that they favor. But honestly, I've kind of known that out here for a long time, because if I am like coming out here and doing a video against something that another creator said that is majorly disliked, then everyone is giving me kudos. But I come out here and do the exact same thing, calling out the exact same type of thing on a creator that a lot of people like, I'm the bad guy. But the sentiment is all the same. It's funny how humans are. It just all depends on what they like as to what they'll accept. If it's somebody they don't.
Ah! My girl's here. Jules, True Crime Reactions is here. All right, I dropped the link. By the way, do I sound better than it on Friday? Because I was all kind of stopped up, you know, runny nose, runny eyes, the whole thing. She's here. Let's see if she grabs the link.
Don't like, they're all for it. But for somebody they do like, they don't want none of the exact same thing. It's very odd. So Rabbit was mentioning last week that there was going to be something coming up. She's been keeping up with it on the Reddit page. Now, I do go to like search engines and try to find something every few weeks. But besides the actual like court document website, the only news that would ever pop up whenever you looked up this situation was stuff from the beginning of 2023, whenever it all first started. None of the newest updates. And as of now, because of the way the case has been handled, if you go to the Legacy website where all of the Utah documents are and type in Jared's name, there's nothing. So we're going to go.
This happened with Dawn Wells as well. Now, this is a lot to get through, but I know you guys are smart people. I know you're at work, you're exercising, you're in bed, waking up, listening. But if you could get a pen and paper, you can see how some court documents are shut down. Thank you, Susan, for putting in Jules, True Crime Reactions, her link. Uh-oh, we got trouble backstage. Come on, big hand of applause. Well, welcome back, girlfriends. So glad you're here. And I didn't even ask for permission to use this. I was just like, yeah, well.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to. You can use whatever you want.
Well, it's absolutely nuts that Jared is going to go down, but not Dawn Wells. And if you go to the federal complaints about Dawn Wells, of course, you cannot see the filings because it's federal. Why is Roy Utah not working on what he did? Yes, I understand it started when he was 12, but it continued to when he was 19. He got caught sniffing panties at the age of 40. I'm going to let you go. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't understand why there's stipulations and why things change just depending on who you are. It's like if they don't feel like they can get money or notoriety out of it, they just don't care. I really feel like the only reason they even went through with Jared's case is because they knew they could make a big deal about it. But Dawn Wells is definitely a menace to society in his own right. So I don't understand the difference, other than Utah is notorious for just not giving an actual shit about people that have suffered through things. They just really don't seem to care at all.
And the thing is, I see it the opposite way, which is why I love talking to you, and we can still be friends at the end of the day. It seems to me that the people with the most notoriety, they are a little more sympathetic to juries. Because they go, look at all the wonderful things this person has done.
Yeah.
Look at the wonderful things they've done. Look at all the cold cases he has solved. Look at his family. Look at how they encouraged this. This was daily life. Dawn Wells is a nobody.
That too.
I can't figure it out. I mean, I don't know how to roll the dice going in front of a jury. I wouldn't know how to pick a good jury.
Well, I mean, if everything that Don Wells has done is falling in between the new statute of limitations that was created, then I don't understand why they're not pushing more stuff, especially since so much about him came out after Summer went missing. And it's not like they would really have to do too much. Plenty of people would come out and talk. It wouldn't be all secretive and weird like Jared, I don't think, because so many people around them have already come out and talked since Summer went missing. I don't think it'd be a big deal to get him actually found guilty and off the street.
He pled guilty. Jared pled guilty.
Well, yeah, well, whatever that means for somebody like Jared, no contest, which is the same damn thing, even though people are going to try to argue with you that it's not. I have people
with you. They will argue.
They argue with you all day long, and I'm like, okay, well then, just do a little bit of Googling, and then you can just like come back to me later. And we're not going to have this discussion right now because you're obviously just stupid. But no, it's the same thing. That's just what rich people get. They get no contest, or they get settlements, or they get something that happens. But the facts are this: with one victim, he was perfectly okay going in front of a jury and trying to use his notoriety to try to get him off of this. But at the second that more people were going to be testifying, all of a sudden, the fact of a jury scared the shit out of him, and then he cowered out like the big old beta bitch he is. Plain and simple.
And then you have Don Wells, who has spoken publicly saying he was playing house, and that the victims came on to him.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the same thing that Jared tried to say. Like in court, his lawyer tried to use, the 10-year-old, it's the 10-year-old's fault. Yeah, that's what he tried to say too. It's so gross.
Okay, court of public opinion said it's cold in here. Catch you guys later. Was nobody talking to court of public opinion? I hope not. Maybe you were saying something no one cares about. I don't know. Anyhow, Stacy, thank you for the super sticker. You're embarrassing me. But I love you, girlfriend. If someone says publicly, now I understand publicly is now it's a gray area in the law, and hopefully you can help me with this. If they say it on social media, it's not to be counted.
When did that become a thing?
That's what I want to know. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
so
no. an admission, especially on like social media where you're in control of said social media, is definitely an admission to be counted.
He said he was recorded by Chris McDonough. He flat out said these things happened.
Is this one of the interviews on the Interview Room channel that he did over there? Okay, yeah, I've seen some of these.
Then we have people saying, oh, you're more about, Mary and Jeannie and those victims in Summer. It all goes together. I don't know if you heard me at the beginning of the show when I said, I don't like the words never or ever, but always happens in cases like this. There's never one victim.
Yeah. I can agree with that statement. For sure. Especially the longer they go on.
Well, I'm going to get back to your amazing video. Pop in when you can. I don't mean get out of chat or anything or, get off stage. But wherever you want to put your commentary in, do it.
Well, I only have like a few minutes because I'm like on like a little 10-minute break for work, but I just wanted to hop on because I was literally just opened up the homepage and then this was at the very top and I like hovered my mouse over it and I was like, oh, we're talking about Jared. Let's see what's going on. I just had to come in and see what's happening because I know this has been a topic that a lot of people are not really wanting to touch. And I'm glad that you and Rabbit are talking about it. I know that Ikit has put a couple of things out on like Twitter, but there's a lot of people not even wanting to talk about this anymore. And I don't really understand why. If anything, this should be one of the biggest stories when it comes to true crime and how you really have got to be careful who you worship. I guess some people need to have that word put to them, because it's all of his fangirls that are coming into channels and into comments, cussing people out, calling people names, threatening people's lives, threatening this and threatening that, because all you're doing is out here literally reading what the court has done and talking about what actually is case fact and what he has admitted to, but somehow you're the bad guy. And I don't comprehend that. I don't understand that at all. I don't care who you are. We have, if anything, by now it's 2025 almost, people know that people in high positions, 99% of them are full of shit. So this stuff with Jared being such a shock and surprise to people, I honestly don't get, because this is like duh 101, especially coming from his background.
Mhm.
And not only that, but before he became this person he is now, he was a freaking con artist. And he admits he was a con artist. He has no problem coming out and saying that he has ruined people's lives with their stock scam that his sister came out and even admitted that she helped him with. So he's never been a good human, never, as a teenager, as a young adult, as a middle-aged adult, into now. He has been a shit person who puts on a facade for money. That's all this is to him. It's been very, very apparent for a long time, and it's just really sad to me how many people are blind. But then again, look at the world.
And it's sad to me how many people around him knew, how his own wife covered up for him.
Which is disgusting, considering that they have teenage daughters.
Exactly. How Don Wells' wife turns the other way, knowing what he admitted to doing to his sisters. You know where my husband would be? I'd drop him off at the nearest courthouse and say, sort it out.
Yeah.
And never talk to me again.
No, I completely agree. And I don't really know what to think about wives that marry men like this. I don't, because you know that they have to have something wrong with them. They're not completely there in the brain to be able to commit themselves to a man who has done these things, that they know for a fact has done these things. Like, it's just all screwed up all the way around. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all just gross.
You got Don Wells sleeping naked in bed with a 5-year-old.
See, I had heard that. And that's whenever that's one of the things I was like, okay, so she just allowed that? That's another reason why I don't understand why, like, neither one of them are in jail whatsoever, because I know damn well that whenever those boys got taken into custody, that they have talked. There's no way that they haven't said things. And just the simple fact that all these years later, they're still not allowed to be around the kids, right? Like, the boys still have nothing to do with Dawn and Candace. I know that they had to have said some things. There's no way that there wasn't enough that came out to where charges were not warranted for something.
I have wondered about that until I heard the Quentin Simon trial.
Yeah.
Where they had forensic child psychologists. They only get one chance because you can't introduce suggestion to a child.
Right.
It sounds to me like their children, when they have their interviews, just didn't say anything, and they can't interrogate a child.
Right. They have to just let it happen naturally at some point.
And that's like, I think about Diane Downs. Yeah. When it took them forever to get Christy ready to talk. And it took a long time to get her ready. They talked about everything except her mother. I think sometimes these child psychologists, forensic child psychologists, excuse me, they go after these kids too quick. Yeah. Because they're guarded all the time. They're anxious, they're guarded, they know something's going on. And so they have to wait for things to calm down and then sit with them. Because she's the one that put her mother behind bars.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, because at first when these things start, the child is completely misplaced. They're confused. They have no idea what's going on. I mean, they sort of do. I know that people like to say that the kids just don't know what's happening, but kids aren't stupid either. They definitely have like vibes they get that something's off. But yeah, I mean, I would see it taking a while to get any sort of truth to come out when it comes to anything, because they're already in such a strange and uncomfortable environment. Of course, they're going to be hella closed down. I'm just really anxious to see what's going to happen whenever the oldest one turns 18 and he can speak on his own free will if he chooses to, because he has if anything, the oldest one is definitely going to be the one with the most to tell. That's
Oh, I would think so too. I would
Yeah.
think so too, considering the pink sheets, they took some of his stuff.
yeah.
And there was a reason for that. Police just don't take your shit unless they need it for some reason.
And it always really just rubbed me wrong that they were in the middle of like the CPS thing. And it just almost felt like they were trying to get rid of evidence whenever Summer disappeared because of everything that I heard going on around and what the rumors were. And of course, they've been pretty much sort of substantiated just by his behavior and things in his past. There's really no reason to not believe that he did all these weird things and said all these crazy things. And I mean, wasn't there like 911 call at some point where Candace was calling in and saying that he was hurting Summer or something? Like, I don't understand how he never got charged for anything against those kids where he went to jail.
That's what I want to know. I mean,
it doesn't look like somebody with good connections.
In the fall of 2022, she called about domestic violence.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was sitting outside drunk saying that like he did something to her thumb, but the deputy noticed she was lighting a cigarette, talking to them. She couldn't even stand up. That's part of the problem. So if something wrong with her thumb, that he broke her thumb, then how's she lighting a cigarette?
Yeah, that's true too, because that's definitely the one you use. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So, all right. So when you get another break, come back in. I don't mean to interrupt your work. You're the best friend.
You're awesome. Thank you for covering this because a lot of channels are not, and it needs to be talked about. I need to do my own update video, but I'm glad that you guys are on this. Thank you for doing the good work. Y'all have a great Monday. I'll see you guys soon.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you too. Bye. Go to the Reddit post. It's actually called Adventures with Purpose, and they're the ones who have been keeping everybody up to date with the information. So they're really the only source we have at this point because everything has been sealed. Part of the deal was for it all to be sealed because Jared pled guilty and he doesn't want all of his boo-boo out here to the public. That's how I'm seeing it. Now, Rabbit and Steve Fisher both were trying to get information from the court.
Okay, she's exactly right. I don't know what Steve Fisher has. I've gone through this video several times because my girl, Jules, knows what she's talking about. Okay? Down the rabbit hole, I have never spoken with her, but I do love her work. I would love for her to come on the channel. All right? I will reach out someday, but right now I'm decorating for Christmas. Y'all know how I am around here. It is sealed. I know I'll get some arguments from people saying, oh, it's because they're minors. No, they're grown adults now. It's sealed because he pled to a lesser charge and doesn't want people to know his nastiness. And I promise I'm going to put this together for you about cases in Utah. And yes, Don Wells' case is still open. Don't listen to the people that have not been out of their apartment in 5 fucking years.
Courts about what was going on because there was supposed to be a trial. See, I believe it was yesterday that his trial date was supposed to start, but instead of the trial happening, he pled guilty to lesser charges, as I mentioned. So let's just go ahead and go through all these little documents because there's not very many, but we need to see proof of what's going on. Okay, so this is the Adventures with Purpose Reddit page that's been keeping up with everything, and this was posted as of 4 days ago, and it states the following. Jared Leisek's Child R trial removed from Utah court calendar. Just a few hours ago, and again, this was 4 days ago, which is about the time that I heard Rabbit talking about it on her live and trying to get information from the court itself. Just a few hours ago, the Utah court calendar was updated, and all 4 of Jared's trial days have been removed. There was enough going to be going on to where they felt like trial was going to basically go on all week, so that's pretty important. Here is an image from last week showing the final pre-trial conference and his trial dates. So this is what it looked like. this is what it was supposed to happen. On 9/18 was supposed to be a pre-trial conference. And then on 9/24, 25, 26, and 27 was supposed to be the jury trial. Not just trial, jury trial. So does that mean that at this point they've already selected a jury and had one ready to go and he decided to just plead guilty at the last minute? That's what it sounds like. Okay, so then today it says, today a search returns this and shows no results. And that is true because I went and checked myself. Party name, Jared Leisek. Search all, go to search calendars. No results. So that's valid. Pushing back the date and the trial could cause this, but it's been confirmed to me that Jared has accepted a plea deal, although the details of which are not public as of yet and may never be. The Leisek side is allegedly the one which insisted on the gagging order and covers both sides, including several Reddit users, some Jared's family, and who were very active in his defense, allegedly. Now, I heard that too. Where I first actually saw this was over on Twitter, and this is what I posted on the community tab from whenever I did see that. And this poster does have like a list of usernames. People were making like different accounts, basically just like spamming a bunch of stuff in like defense of Jared, but they were like basically told to quit their crap. That's how I'm understanding it. The plea deal was completed on the day of the final pretrial conference, and the case was sealed the following day. And then they have this right here, and it shows that on 9/17, there was a return of electronic notification filed and 2 sealed orders 2 days later. So, yeah, completely sealed off. Jared was in a tough spot as 3 of the state's witnesses were allegedly to testify that he essayed them and others. The victim was to testify that Jared R-worded her and allegedly had evidence of other alleged R's, and that would be Hero, the cousin. Now, apparently, some a-hole people out there have actually doxed her information. I don't need to know her name. I've said that from the beginning. I am glad that to this day, all this time later, I have managed to avoid whatever stupid a-holes are out there doing that here on social media and not seen it. So I don't need to know her name. The fact that she doesn't want publicity and to be known kind of says a lot.
I think the question is, why does the greater public, and no, I don't mean you all, why do they want to know victims' names? Hey, look, if a child is missing, an adult is missing, if a 3-legged pig is missing, yes, we need to know their name. We need to know what they look like. Victims, we don't need to know. And these crazy people that say, well, why didn't she do something when she was 6? She could have told her parents. Hello? Hello? McFly? McFly? Are you there? No 6-year-old is going to jump up and say, this is what's going on, and explain what's going on. They have a totally different mindset than what an adult has. And hell, you have women and you have men that live in horrible situations that still don't say anything. So why are they blaming a 6-year-old child? When I think about Daisy's channel and what she said about the horrible things that were going on in the Wells home in Utah, she goes, well, then they should have said something. Those little kids should have said something. Let me phrase it with this. Little kids. Little kids. Little kids. They just want things to get better. They want it to go away. That's what they want. In their mind, if I don't say a word, I eat all my dinner, I clean my room, and I stay out of the way, no one will hurt me. And it's horrible and it's disgusting.
Honestly, because a lot of people think that she came forward now because of him having money and blah, 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 blah. She's not asking for money. At this point, I don't see any sort of monetary anything happening here. And she doesn't want her name out there for fame either. So I hope a lot of those people eat their freaking words, because so many people talk crap to me and about her, all because of who he is and the way that his sister Jessica came out here. Now, I know that Jessica might be a victim of his as well, but the way that she came out here, she really made sort of like a mockery of the entire thing that Hero was trying to do. She did. I've done a video about it. It almost seems like she was trying to sabotage it for Jared, while also coming out here and making us hate him even more for all the things that she was saying about him. It was a very odd event. If you missed it, just consider yourself lucky, I guess. It goes on to state that a police officer was also to testify that Jared had admitted to familial abuse as per my previous post, and there's a link. And this is from 13 days ago, so 9 days prior to the other one. Oh, and there's a whole document. Okay. There's only 12. Let's stop here. We're going to stop where we were, and we're going to read this because this is where we were directed. Okay. Jared's lawyers attempting to delay the trial. Jared appears to admit to doing the things. There's only 12 days to the start of Jared Leisek's trial for Child R, and things are going on behind the scenes. September 5th. The prosecution declared they intend to use Jared's prior convictions, prior criminal activity, prior wrongful acts, illegal conduct involving children involved in the case, and illegal conduct towards other individuals. And yeah, he did have a criminal background of like fraud with the stock market and all kind of stuff. And even I was bringing all of the receipts for that. Like, you could literally go right now and still pull up the case document for that on the internet. And people were trash talking me for just reporting facts. All because they wanted to kiss his ass. Funky. This could include any of the crimes from his long criminal record, including the guilty plea to 16 lies in court, which is false swearing, when he was charged with pointing a pew-pew at a man in a parking lot. I don't remember hearing that one. Okay. And this is just them putting it in writing that they plan to use his background against him, which they're supposed to, because it shows behavior and escalation. They're supposed to. The state also provided their witness list, which includes the victim, a family member, 2 others who alleged by Jared, and a police officer. Worth noting that they refer to this as the initial list of witnesses, so obviously some could be added or withdrawn. On September 9th, Jared's lawyers object to the use of the above information, claiming unreasonable notice. Well, he was very much aware that he had a horrible background. It's just unreasonable notice to you, the lawyers. But Jared was very much aware because he lived it.
Yeah, he lived it. He was there. He pled guilty to it. Don't you love when criminals play dumb? Don't you love when criminals play dumb? He was there. Denial, we get that. Not me, not me, not me. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything like that. When you have witnesses come forward and they have similar stories, then it doesn't quite work that way. And you don't plead guilty or, in quotes, no contest to something you didn't do. No way. No way. You play dumb when an officer pulls you over and you're like, oh, I didn't know how fast it was going. That's when you play dumb. But he's talking about the R of a child. Don Wells is too dumb to be dumb. True story. He is too dumb to be dumb. So when he was pinned down about what he allegedly did to his stepsisters and other people, he said, "We's just playing house. They came on to me." You're really telling me that a 5-year-old came on to you? Kiki, thank you for the 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Angel P, thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Woo! My goodness, does everyone have their gifts on? Because at this point, nobody in here should not be a member. And hopefully they are soon. Because we're going to have a big members live this week. And I did have a question in here. Actually, I'll get to the questions in a second.
He did it. So that's ridiculous. They also want to know the allegations, the evidence, how many victims or acts, the purpose and number of witnesses to those acts. The lawyers request the evidence is disallowed, which is clearly what they want, but will obviously try to delay if the evidence is allowed. So they were just going back and forth and playing games, and basically were just realizing that they weren't going to get their way. Jared's lawyers submit their witness and exhibit list, but unlike the state, they sent it via private email, so it was not made public. So he doesn't want people to know who was standing there defending him. Because, you know, whenever all that Nickelodeon stuff came out, we found out that James Marsden and several others were just complete losers. And, you know, Ashton Kutcher and apparently the new lead singer of Linkin Park, Chester, is probably rolling in it, bro. Just, if y'all don't know that situation and you're from my generation, just don't even look into it because your little heart's going to break, okay? But whenever you find out that people defend people like this, you can't look at them the same way. You just can't. So interesting that he decides to make his list private. On September 11th, it says that the state responds to requests to disallow evidence, stating that the evidence has been available for 2 years and to both Jared's law teams via discovery. Plus, like I said, Jared lived it. He's not a novice to what he did in his entire life, his own life. Jared's criminal record has always been available to them, and to deny the objection, this was also included. And just something else I'd like to mention that was a very serious thing that we did find out was that pretty soon after he did this stuff, his family basically got him out of the country until he was like a legal adult. Like he was literally moved out of the country to go live somewhere else before he was brought back. So that's the timing of that is real sketchy too. Okay, so this is about Hero's testimony, it seems like. The victim in this case provided a detailed witness.
Okay, now I will say this. I covered heavily the Kylie Rodney case. In my opinion, since the case is still open with CHIPS, also known as California Highway Patrol, I still believe something happened at that party. It seems very odd to me that Kylie Rodney, who was very familiar with that lake, just made the wrong turn right into the lake. What was in her system was minimal. And I mean minimal. In the beginning, I thought her car went off the road. It's in a ravine somewhere. It's in the lake. Well, it was in the lake. It was. However, when Adventures with Purpose came out, and yes, I did celebrate them. You know why? Because they found the car. I was not celebrating Jared. I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. Nothing. I don't know their birthdays, their favorite colors. I'm one of those weird ones that I don't look into people's backgrounds. I'm like, way to go. They found it. They found her. Super, super duper. Other people were attacking them for exploitation, opportunists, all that stuff. I saw them doing a job, and a dangerous job, and an important job. So we can always agree to disagree. That's what I saw. And as crazy as it sounds, even the devil has a good day.
A statement of the alleged A charged in count 1, R of a child. Sorry for the YouTubees, guys, but if I want this video to actually be out in the algorithm and be seen so people see the truth about Jared, I have to follow the stupid community guidelines. Okay? Okay. She also details that during this time, the defendant had her on a number of occasions prior to the charged alleged conduct. The victim will testify as to those prior occasions of that happening. Throughout the investigation of this case, law enforcement interviewed a number of various family members who detailed being essayed by the defendant and other family members. We talked about this too, because in the email, he basically tried to make Hero feel like crap or like something was wrong with her because she wasn't going along with what him and the rest of the cousins had come to terms with and been okay with. It wasn't okay with her. Like, it's probably okay if you're the one like doing it, but what about the ones that were the ones getting it? Like Hero. Like, it's fine for the ones who were being the abusers to be like, we know that it was wrong because of the way that our family raised us, but we're okay with it, and we've come to terms with it, and we forgave ourselves, so you've got to forgive us too. That's how it was, bro. That shit ain't cute. No. Those family members will testify as to the generational victimization that was prevalent throughout the family and the relationship of it to the defendant's A of the victim. On July 23rd of 2022, the defendant made contact with the investigating detective in the case, stating in a response email he knew what it was about and that he and his cousins abused each other when they were kids, but all decided to stop and end the situation. Break the cycle is, I guess, what it was. But did it really whenever he's basically gaslighting the crap out of her? This email would be used if the defendant chooses to take the stand at trial, and it's everywhere. I actually have videos of it. If y'all haven't seen, read whatever the email, I'll have links in the description box. Number 4, on August 1st, 2022, one of the defendant's family members, blank, detailed to police when she was 6 or 7 years old, she started getting messed with by blank, and then it says Jared. So I'm assuming that says somebody's name and Jared in Utah and Nevada. Blank will testify as to that happening. So that's victim number 2. And then on August 22nd of 2022, another one of the defendant's family members, blank, detailed to law enforcement that SA had occurred between the defendant and other cousins, describing the A as
I have to interrupt and I will come back to this. Okay. MJ Mac. Oh, look at that. Porky Pig is back. Everyone, welcome. Porky Pig back. And this is in the court documents about generational I. MJ Maxey. Girl, you used to be a member. Come on back. We miss you. Jared made a big production of Kylie and he was not even there. He was the one that said she's in the back and said he had more footage he couldn't put out. I took it hook, line, and sinker.
generational. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. I haven't tried that one yet, I don't think. So I'm not going to say it. Y'all can read it. There it is bigger. Okay. Blank will testify as to that SA. Also on August 22nd of 2022, another family member, blank, so that's number 3. We did hear that there was 3 other ones that came forward. Blank detailed to law enforcement conversations she had had with defendant, wherein he admitted and apologized for his part in what took place in the family. Blank will testify as to that as well. Many people say the emails between Jared and the victim do not prove anything. Yeah. Him literally apologizing to her, meaning that he takes ownership for something and is apologizing for it, meaning he's apologizing for an action that he actually did, and then telling Exploring with Nug, yes, that's my email. That wasn't verification enough for people. They still came out here talking mad crap, cussing us out, all the things, when it was right there in black and white. Ridiculous. Okay, so let's go back to this part. Okay. Jared's lawyers tried to stop his criminal past being used against him. They also tried to introduce evidence that would likely have been deemed too late, possibly in an attempt to delay. Finally, they asked to make it a non-jury trial, despite Jared's side initially being the one to request a jury trial, because he probably thought, because of how famous he was going to end up with people on the jury that probably knew who he was.
Famous? He's not Donny Osmond. What's he talking about, famous? Nobody knew him unless they were following a specific case and then they forgot about him. What's he mean? He thought because he was famous, nobody would mess with him. Now, it is the truth that some prosecutors, if they know someone has a lot of money, they won't mess with it. They won't, because they know they're outnumbered. They know that they have a limited budget, and if they have tons and tons and tons of money, that they're going to be outnumbered. Could you imagine in Utah if Donny Osmond was accused of a crime? Yeah. Dude's got money. Big difference between 5 million and 30,000. But this is what Jared thinks in his mind. We haven't even gotten to Don Wells yet.
Was and would vote in his favor because of that. So of course he did. I would guess they felt members of the public were going to give less benefit of the doubt to someone they knew had emmed several people. Yeah, so whenever multiple witnesses came forward, all of a sudden he backed out of one in that jury trial. Oh, did reality hit you, baby? I'm not really quite sure why the SO map for Utah is on here, because as far as I'm understanding, he's probably not going to have to register. And I'll get to all of that here in a second. A plea deal wasn't expected, as Jared's half-brother, who was charged with 4 counts of forcible SA, he was 19, the child was 13, also changed his plea, admitting to 2 of 4 counts. For the guilty pleas, they reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor and changed the age of the child from 13 to 14 to reduce his sentence to just 5 days in jail. So that's what happened to Jared's half-brother. How do you just change the age of somebody on a document? That's lying. People's ages don't change. So they got to lie about the age of the person that was actually abused just so this person can get off easier? I mean, seriously, the only reason why my stupid ex got out is because the prosecutor was too dumb to even read the date of birth. And he admitted that to me on the phone. He thought it was adult on adult DV situation, not a 40-year-old man beating up on a 15-year-old little girl with a disability. So this actually doesn't surprise me now that I think about it at all. I think this shows how lenient Utah is, with stats showing that 1 in 55 people in Salt Lake City, Utah are registered SOs. That's what the map is for. And it does state that. According to our research of Utah and other states listed, there were 3,546 registered SOs living in Salt Lake City as of September 21st, 2024. The ratio of all residents to SOs in Salt Lake City is 55-1. That's still wild. That's not enough. So for every 55 people, there's one SO, which means anytime you're walking around a Walmart in that town, there's probably at least 5 of them in that damn thing.
But it's always from the church or the family. 2 Boston moms is in here. She lives in Utah. I'm not giving you her address or anything. She can tell you it gets really crazy. It gets real crazy. Maybe that's the reason they're not doing anything with Don Wells. Because they don't want to go pick his ass up in Tennessee. They don't want to go pick him up. You don't harbor people like this. But it made it so clear in the paperwork, the documents, legal documents. We're not talking about a Microsoft Word letter. In the documents, legal documents, that said generational incest. Generational incest. So who teaches children at a young age that it's okay to violate anyone? Who does that? I think in some homes, it is congratulated. I think it's encouraged. In my opinion, I think it's covered up.
Wow. Jared, as a juvenile at the time, will likely get even less. I doubt he would accept a plea that involved any jail time, which I agree. I doubt there's going to be any jail time for this at all. A plea is a plea, though, and shows guilt. And in my opinion, innocent people don't plead guilty, which I agree to a point, especially in this situation. I definitely do agree. But I'm about to do a reaction video to a situation where a man was literally forced to admit that he did something that he didn't do to a person that wasn't even harmed. It's a whole crazy situation how the cops tortured this man into creating a false confession for something that wasn't even a true event. So I know that whenever disparity calls, people do plead because they know no way out and they just kind of figure they can fight it after the fact. I've seen that happen before several times. But in this case, I really do believe, from what we're hearing so far, that with just one person coming forward and it being so long and him probably being able to get up there thinking that he can just use the generational thing as a defense and then use what he's done so far, even though he continued to be a loser into adulthood, okay? Because we need to remember, he does have a criminal history. Criminal history, okay? Not just family issues, criminal history, okay? Him and his sister, and this came from her, and we found the documentation, okay? Him and his sister and another partner of his did all kind of crap fraud stuff to thousands of people that lost thousands of dollars. Jared has never been a good guy. He just found a new grift, and you guys that are cussing me out for, being honest, I know it's not all of you. Some of you are here for the right reasons. But for those of you that did, all he did was find a good grift. A good face mask. That's all it was. That's all it was. There's a reason why he wasn't on the ground whenever they were looking for Kylie. There's a reason why Kylie was the first not cold case they actually went after. They needed the distraction because this is whenever everything started going downhill in Utah. Because that's where Jared was whenever they were on the ground looking for Kylie. He wasn't in California. He wasn't in Truckee. He wasn't at Prosser. He was in Utah dealing with this.
Yes, but no one knew. How would we know? How would we know? Like I said, I'm one of those people that if someone is saving someone, Let's just say that somebody goes and swoops a child out of the woods and say, I found him. I found him. I'm not going to sit there and look through their laundry basket, if you know what I mean. The only reason I'm comparing Jared to Don Wells is because of the Utah connection. Now, Jared from Adventures with Purpose is in deep doo-doo, my friends. Deep, deep doo-doo. There's no getting around it. He is. He is. He's admitted. He has pled down. It is sealed. Now let's get to Don Wells. We know what Mondays are. We damn sure do. We know today is Metabolism Monday. Can't take it away. Unless somebody wants a music break. But the only one that can decide that is Pat K. Jen Bug said, as he should be. V. Oakley said, so no jail time has not been decided yet. There will be jail time. But I'm telling you what, with the time and what he has done, in some opinions, good for society, I have a feeling it's just going to be probation. There was a case not far from me in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the jury wanted this guy put in jail 20 years and 20 years, not to be served consecutively, but because of the good he had done in his adult years, the judge went against what the jury said and gave him 40 years of probation. Can you believe that shit? But again, it is Metabolism Monday.
I don't know about Jackie Dobbs. I've just heard about him. I don't know about Jody Stu. I've talked to Jody Stu time and time again, and every time she talks to me, her story has changed.
Like in how?
Okay, like, for instance, like, she said that she was down on the bottom after she heard somebody scream or whatever. She was never at the bottom of that driveway. I drove down there faster than she could fucking fly.
Okay. So she said, so the scream, of course, is out of the question now, right? There was no scream, right?
There's no scream, dude. She's maced all that shit up. Why? I can't lie. It's not in my metabolism.
Okay.
Now, if she was standing down there, was that after Summer had came up missing?
I don't know when she got down there. I just know when I drove down to my mom's truck, she was down there.
Okay.
Was she already looking, or was she doing something different?
She was just standing on the corner.
Very, very interesting.
Right.
Was it surprising, you coming down the drive knowing your daughter?
Yeah, because usually Jody Sue don't walk around. Why?
She can't lie. She can't. All right. Our friend JLR, who is a friend of this channel, found a criminal complaint on Don Wells. No offense to any of the victims from Adventures with Purpose who have nothing to do with Summer Wells. No offense to Don's previous victims, whether it's that woman who he stole her bloomers out of her drawer and was pleasuring himself with them, or his sisters, their friends, or anyone. All of that has been reported to the police. And I want justice for everyone. Everyone. We want to find out what happened to Rose Bly. We want to find out what happened to everyone and let justice prevail. Unfortunately, Summer, the same age as Jeannie, 5 years old, she cannot speak for herself because she can't be found. Let's go back to this. This is circulating. People are saying, is this Summer? I can tell you again why it's not Summer. Because her parents don't care. This child that was found on Facebook has blonde hair, blue eyes, and a totally different face shape. Totally different. But any time this is brought up, Dawn and Candace say, no. No. When the child that looked like Summer in Jonesboro, Arkansas, Candace said, it can't be her. Not, oh my God, I hope it is her. And she jumped in the red Subaru and went tracking down I-40 to find her daughter. She said, it's not her. Anytime human remains are found in the state of Tennessee, it doesn't jar them at all. June 18th, 2021, Don said, when it was brought to his attention by Jeff Bobo, he said, I understand you have a sister-in-law who is also missing. He said, yeah, bud, they never found her either. That's what he said. This was 3 days after Summer went missing. She could have still been in the woods wandering around. It's happened before. It's not uncommon. Well, it is uncommon. But to find someone after 3 days is not uncommon. He said there's no evidence. No one will find her. So let's go through some federal filings against Dawn Wells. Yet some people will say it's not a big deal. Hey, I would rather worry about the 99% than the 1%. But that's just me.
Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. Where is Summer Wells? Justice for Summer Wells. Don Wells, Summer's father. He had a federal complaint filed against him in 2001. I saw it. I never really read into it, didn't really understand what it was about. And today I went into the pacer.gov website. That is the website that provides all federal cases, both federal and or both criminal and civil. And I did a search and found his case. I found his case. It's an interesting case, and it brings insight to why he had that federal case. It was filed in June 5th, 2001, and then terminated a few months later, October 31st, 2001. And I am going to share the court documents here with you here so you can have an understanding too on what it's about, just in case people out there were also wondering, like myself, what was that federal case about? And then we will discuss. Check it out. So I am in the Pacer system. This is a national lookup for federal cases both civil and criminal. I did a case search for Donald Wells. There's many Donald Wells here, but I found one here, Donald Wesley Wells, filed in Utah in 6/5/2001, but it was dismissed. Looks like terminated. Date closed. October 31st, 2001. Donald Wesley Wells. I'm going to click on this case here. Clicking on the case. I'm going to go to parties involved. Here you see United States of America versus Wells. Donald Wesley Wells. Looks like the U.S. Marshal Services are also listed as a party involved in this case. This was in 2001. I'm going to scroll back and go into the history and
Yet, with everything you can dig up on federal complaints, you're telling me that people can still stand behind him. No, I am not saying that he did anything to his daughter. I'm not. At all. I'm not saying Candace did. Candace was home. Proven. We can't prove that Dawn was home. But both Candace and Grandis were home. They were there when she went poof.
documents. I looked over this earlier. I'm going to run a query. And here it is. Now, this is interesting because here is the complaint, but I can't click on it. It looks like the case is sealed. And here is a warrant. And I can't click on that either. And then here's a motion to dismiss. Can't click on that either. Dismissal of counts on government's motion. DOC, I can get there, and I actually looked at this earlier. I'm going to read this to you. View document. And here it is. This was one of the court documents that wasn't sealed, and I was able to read and obtain in United States of America versus Donald Wesley Wells. This was in October 31st, 2001. It says, based upon the motion of the United States of America and for good cause appearing, the court hereby grants leave under Rule 48A of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure for the United States District Courts for the dismissal of the UFAC complaint against the defendant, Donald Wesley Wells, signed by a United States magistrate judge. It looks like UFAC means unlawful flight to avoid confinement. Unlawful flight to avoid confinement. So going back to the master file, there's a couple other ones here. Warrant returned unexecuted. Can't click on it. Won't let me. And notice of filing dismissed. And it can't click on this. So there was one actually motion out of this whole entire case that I was able to view. And it looks like it was dismissed. I'm assuming this whole case had to deal with Don Wells fleeing in 2001 from Utah out of state and going back to Tennessee after he paroled out of prison in Utah and absconded. And I think the U.S. Marshal Services got involved because he left the state and went to Tennessee. He was apprehended there and eventually taken back to Utah to finish his remaining sentence. So there you go. So it wasn't actually a federal case about new charges. It was the U.S. Marshals putting a case out there to get Don Wells because he absconded from Utah and went back to Tennessee.
He did. He absconded from Utah with all the stuff he did there and took off. Okay? He took off. And if anyone can put our playlist in for Summer Wells, please do. Because the people in Utah actually are concerned about the case in Utah. Let's get to it. This is from the lab. He got the FOIA.
So I just want to make sure that everybody out there can hear. Like I said, I'm going to play uninterrupted. So let me know if you can hear it. I've got it correct.
Okay, now I will interrupt because there's so many things that Dawn says in this interrogation that will drive you crazy. By the way, we have playlists on so many cases. Please look at them. Please, please, please. Because you guys are the channel.
Cranked.
Detective.
Hey, it's Officer with Hawkins County. Are you ready to speak with Mr. Wells?
Yes, officer, and I am.
Okay, here he is. Just a minute. Don't make any other phone calls, okay?
Well,
Hi, is this Donald?
yeah.
Hi, Donald. My name is John. I'm a detective. I'm a detective with the Roy City Police Department in Utah.
Okay.
Do you go by Donald? What do you prefer that I call?
It don't matter. What's this about?
Well, Donald, I've got actually 3 open cases that you've been named as suspect in. So, I mean, before I can kind of get into them,
these are all lies, right?
Don't you just love Dawn? Okay? He goes, we have 3 open cases we're investigating. They're all lies, right? You don't open a case without evidence. No detective, no DA, no anyone is going to investigate shit that's not there. I can call my police department right now and say, hey, a rocket hit my house. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, we're going to look at that later. 3, not 1, not 2, 3 open cases. Yet there are some channels out there that will tell you he didn't do anything wrong or he did not know better. And this is a true FOIA that the lab got. Again, credit goes to the lab. Please put his link in here. He's a super cool dude. Hold on. V. Oakley. Was that Josh acting like a detective? No. He has no way he could call Dawn in jail. No way. No way.
I mean, these are all lies, and I'm going to tell you something else.
So, Donald,
all the cases that you say you have against me, that's all lies. I've seen all that on YouTube and all that crap. I've seen all that. That's all lies.
Donald, before I can talk to you because you're incarcerated, I've got to advise you of your rights. So,
So what are you saying? I'm under arrest or what?
nope.
Who's these open cases? What are you talking about? Who's the open cases again? What are you talking about? What kind of open cases?
Okay, you're not giving me a chance here. So it's not. I didn't say you're under arrest. I said because you are incarcerated.
Well,
I'm
going
got
to
to
tell you right now, you ain't got to read me my rights because I'm going to tell you right now, they're all lies and it's all bullshit. So you ain't got to read me my rights because I'm telling you, it's all bullshit. There ain't none of that stuff true.
Donald, you're not
You know,
under.
my daughter out here has been abducted. And they went off the hook, and my stepdaughter or my stepsisters have said all kind of crazy stuff that ain't true. It's all lies.
Can I read you the Miranda warning and then talk to you about these cases? Is that okay?
Well, you're wasting your time, but whatever. But
All
why
right.
don't you? Yeah.
All right, Donald.
Whatever, man.
All right, Donald. It's just I have to do this, Donald. You're incarcerated. I can't start talking to you without you because you're being detained. This is what Miranda.
You know, what a dipshit. What a dipshit. Saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? You said I'm arrested? No, because you're incarcerated, for me to talk to you, I have to give you your Mirandas. But Don always thinks he's running the show. This is the man that said he's been in prison for. So he doesn't want anyone else to go to prison. Even if it means they took his little girl from him.
Is detention and questioning. So you're being detained over there. I have to advise you of your rights. Okay? That's why I'm doing
my
this.
rights.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
All right, Donald. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be a representative before any questioning if you wish one. If you decide to answer questions now without having counsel present, you may stop answering questions at any time. Also, you may request counsel at any time during questioning. All right, Donald, you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yeah, I understand my rights. I told you that.
Okay.
Damn, man.
All right, you're getting a little testy with me, and all I've been is cordial with you.
Well, and so ain't you? You're acting like, like...
No, I ain't.
Whatever,
I didn't acting like nothing. I'm just trying to talk to you, is all. So, it's okay if I talk to you then about these cases?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's all bullcrap. You can talk all you want. I'm telling you right now, it's all bullshit.
Okay.
It's all bullshit and it's all lies. Anything to do with my stepsister.
Yeah, the nerve to bring Don out of his cell to talk to another officer on 3 open cases. Can you imagine? What in the world are they even thinking? How on earth would you even think to disrespect Don in the jail cell, reading the Bible, and eating his ramen noodles to come out and talk to another officer for 3 open cases? 3. Yet people will say nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen.
This is all lies. Do you know anything about my daughter that disappeared off her property? You know anything about that?
No, I don't, sir. That's not my case.
Yeah. Well, my daughter disappeared off my property when I was at work one day, and she hasn't been found. And FBI, TBI, and everything's been all over the case. have it all, you know, and I've been a nervous wreck, and it's been a nightmare ever since. And my stepsisters started all these lies and stuff and everything because they've always hated my guts, and they've always called the cops on me every time I turn around, and they've always done everything to me that they can all my life to destroy my life. And this is just another attempt to destroy my life. You know, it's bad enough my little girl's gone, and now they're going to do all this. And it's all lies.
Well,
Why does Dawn keep slipping and saying stepdaughter? Does anyone have any opinion on that? Why does he keep saying stepdaughter? Stepsisters. Oh, my daughter. Oh, my daughter. By the way, y'all show some love. Please hit the like. Please, please, please. If you're not a member, come on in. Come on in. You're going to love it. Ilyanka said, you catching that too, Brooks? Oh, yes, I do. Because every time I listen to these things again, I catch something else.
I'm not, like I said, you're not under arrest. I don't pretend to know anything. I'm just calling to get your side of the story. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's all lies. All lies.
I haven't even told you anything yet. I haven't even started yet.
So if it's anything to do with my stepsisters, it's all lies.
So, yeah. So Mary has reported to us that
that's the biggest liar ever.
Back in 1979 or 1980, you were hanging around with Mitch and Chris.
Yeah, I've heard the story. It's all lies, buddy. I'm telling you, she's a liar. It's a lie.
Okay.
It's a lie, man. It's on YouTube. I had done a talk to this about this whole thing right here on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, and it's a lie.
All right.
Well, she's the biggest liar ever. When she's been caught in so many lies on YouTube, it ain't even funny.
Yeah, she's
a
saying
snake in the grass. Yeah, I know what she's saying.
She's saying that this would have happened at your house here, 1719 South, and you guys kind of chased her around and pulled her clothes off.
No, that's a lie. That is a lie. That's the biggest lie ever. She is a huge liar. Wow, it's so unbelievable that she's doing this. Yeah, it's the biggest lies. No. Hell to the no, buddy. Lies.
Okay. So you're saying that didn't happen?
Hell no.
But he's the one, Dawn is the one that said because Mary had big old knockers, all the guys were after him, and it was bound to happen anyway. Just like he was talking about Allie's daughter. Biggest liar ever. Why is she doing this now? She knows. She knows. She knows. And there was a reason he started threatening Josh from the lab. You know why he was doing it? Because he knew he was working on this. It goes to tell you something when everyone's lying except for the people, except for the person they're all pointing at. Yeah, he said because Mary had big old knockers, all the guys were off after her. He spoke about Allie's daughter. He said she's getting big jugs, she's got a bubble butt, and all the black guys are after her now, and she's going to be pregnant soon. Okay. You can't get pregnant breathing air. We know that. Got to be kidding me. Even though I've wondered a few times. It's absolutely insane. He says that Jeannie was coming on to him.
Okay.
No.
Another case I have is with Jeannie.
No, yeah, another liar.
Okay. She's saying that she was abused by you sexually about at the age of started at the age of 5 or 6.
Hang on. Annalise said, I always thought this man on the tape is Josh Diaz. Well, let's not use people's legal names. He's already shown the FOIA, F-O-I-A, where he applied for it, the email and everything. It's not him, babe. It's not. I know a lot of people thought that, but remember when this was taped, Don was in jail. Yeah, the lab didn't call him when he was in jail. But I understand because a lot of people said that.
And went all the way to the age of 13.
She's a liar too.
And this all occurred at your parents' house there. Probably she thought it was in 1977.
She's a liar.
Okay.
No,
She's saying she recanted one of the stories where she woke up in the middle of the night and she felt sort of pain in her vagina. And she said that you were putting your inside of her.
It's all lies. No.
This is all lies?
Yep.
Okay. She said you try to get her to play sex games with her.
Yeah, I've heard all them stories too. All on you. She put it all on YouTube, man.
It's all on YouTube?
All of it. Every bit of it. All the things that you're telling me, she's put on YouTube.
Okay. So you're aware of both allegations then, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been saying this ever since my little...
No, she confronted you with this. Actually, not with you, but to her mother and your father when she was a little girl. A police report was filed. They took it away, which actually is common in those days because they had this attitude that kids lie. Kids lie, kids lie, kids lie. They have huge imaginations. However, he's saying it's all lies, even though he told Chris McDonough and 2 other creators that, yeah, that happened, but they were just playing house. Then he stepped it up a notch and said she came on to him. A 5-year-old. A 5-year-old came on to him.
come up missing. But see, what they don't understand a lot of the case. They don't understand that I was at work when my daughter come up missing. They don't understand that my 3 boys were at home and they were questioned by FBI and all that. They were questioned by all of them. See, they don't understand a lot of the cases that I can't even talk about. I'm not supposed to talk about. And I sure ain't going to blab it all over YouTube like these girls have done, my stepsisters.
Yeah, and like I said, I apologize. I don't know anything about that case.
Yeah, that's all over YouTube. My little come up missing.
I am sorry to hear
that.
that.
Since June 15th. She's been abducted off her property.
2021?
Yeah. That's her name. Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to get through, get your side of this story. I mean, she's saying you used to take her on motorcycle rides and put your finger inside her while you're dating.
She's such a liar.
Does anyone remember when he was on Benny's channel, when Benny had a channel, Benny Keys, when he was explaining this story, he said that the girls, Jeannie and Mary, always wanted to ride on his motorcycle. He said it. They would bug him to ride on the motorcycle. And he said, you know, to be the good guy he is, he would give him a ride on the motorcycle. But he's telling this detective, John Frawley, out of Roy, Utah, total lie. Total lie. He's the one that brought up the damn motorcycle. Trust me, I've slept since then, but I've heard it. You know why it registers in my memory? Because when he talked about the motorcycle, I thought at that time, maybe they're saying these things, and this is my fault. My fault for doubting the girls. Well, grown women. I thought, maybe they are making this up. I don't know. Because he had so many details. And now those details are brought back up, and he's like, no, they're lies. They're lies, is what he said. He brought up the motorcycle.
She is such a liar. Hell no. These are all lies, dude. Hell no. How you get? No.
What?
Never mind.
Donnie?
These are all lies.
Donnie, on Jeannie's case here, Tara Hartman also made a statement on this one. And she said, she kind of, just to corroborate what Jeannie was saying, she said Donnie used to give, you know, all the kids a ride on the dirt bike across the field. And, you know, she says he took, one time he took me and it was asking about if my dad touched me and pointed to a vagina or something like that.
Man, this is crazy. How many years ago are we talking anyway, man? I'm freaking like 57 years old, man. What the hell?
I'm like 57 years old. I'm like 57 years old. He said, do you know Tara? Because she cooperated going on rides on the dirt bike and everything. I'd never heard of a motorcycle until September of 2021. And to be quite honest, I wasn't paying that much attention to what Jeannie and Mary were saying. I just wasn't. Not that I didn't believe them. I just didn't want things to get all wrapped up. He admitted it. He brought up the motorcycle. Now we have a detective saying they've got someone to cooperate about the dirt bike. But of course, good old Don's got to make it sound like it's a Harley Davidson. But now here we are. Easy Rider. He's being confronted in jail 3 years ago because he's about to turn 60 soon. This happened when he was in jail for DUI. That's the date on the recording. They have people to cooperate this. So, back to the moral of the story. You have Jared from Adventures of Purpose who's going down like the Titanic. What on earth are they doing or not doing with Dawn? You have 3 open cases and corroborating witnesses. What exactly is going on here? He spoke about his oldest daughter when she got AR'd on her 18th birthday. Question is, we would love to know who really did it, because he was bragging on her that she just sucked it up. His words, not mine. She didn't cause no problem for nobody. That's what he said. Can you imagine a father saying that about his 18-year-old daughter? Saying that she was assaulted violently? That she just sucked it up and didn't cause no problems for no one? Question is, who did it? As a father, he didn't take her to the hospital. Nope. He didn't take her to the police. Nope. He said she just sucked it up. That in itself is a crime.
Just because all of a sudden my little girl comes up missing, they're going to bring up all this crap because you know what this is about? Do you really want to know what this is about? Is my dad's property and his house. Because they think that my dad's going to feel sorry for me or give me some money. Do you know that first daughter borrowed $20,000 from my dad in the state of mind that he's in when he got like a second mortgage or whatever and borrowed a bunch of money for his retirement, and she borrowed $20,000 from him and ain't going to pay him back. Can you arrest her for that? My dad's out $20,000, an old man, and she don't plan on ever paying him back. I'm telling you, these girls are wicked. They don't want me to have nothing to do with my dad's estate. They're trying everything they can to keep me away from my dad. They always have, and they always will. They've always done this stuff to me. None of this stuff is new. I mean, like, where in the hell you all been? None of this is new at all. This is stories they've been spreading for years, forever. All this bullshit. I've just never heard it before outright. It's the first time I've ever heard it, but I knew. I've always known they've been spreading lies. For years they've been saying all this. I don't know what all they've been saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you what they're saying.
I mean, none of this stuff's new. They've been doing this stuff to me my whole life because they don't want me around my dad. They're afraid my dad's going to give me some money or something that they can't give.
Yeah, no, like I said, Donnie, I don't know about I'm trying to walk through the allegations so that you can give me your side of the story. That's what I'm trying to do. Because she's saying, like, I guess you went to jail and she was about 13 or 14. You got out, and she's saying the very day you got out, that the day you got out of prison, you stayed there at the house with the family, and she woke up in the middle of the night, and there again you were actually assaulting her, and she ran to tell your parents. She said she ran to tell your parents, "Hey, Donnie's been molesting me," and I don't know if any of that rings a bell to you.
No, don't ring no bell to me. It's all lies. Every bit of it's lies.
Okay.
I mean, you watch.
Every bit of it's lies, even though he's a constant walking contradiction. Constant walking contradiction. The detective is saying we have 3 open cases. We have someone to corroborate. I mean, we have all this. All lies, all lies, all lies. You have to be kidding me.
Watch some of Mary's videos on YouTube, man. She's been caught in so many lies.
Yeah, there's no core to YouTube. If there was, there wouldn't be many channels left. There's no core to YouTube. Now, they can use it against you. They can say, did you say this? But you're not sworn under oath. I'm not buying it. So what I want to know, why this so-called important issue was conducted over a jailhouse phone and not in person. Because he's incarcerated. It's actually a very common procedure. They should have been there in person and put him in an interrogation room, but he would have to have been extradited to their turf in Roy, Utah, to do their own interrogation. But everything is always about Dawn. Always about Dawn.
That's, you know, all this stuff is on YouTube. The whole world has seen all these, I guess, except for the Roy City Police. I don't know.
Well, and who's Rhonda, Donnie?
I have no idea who that is. Rhonda?
Yeah, Rhonda.
I have no idea. Never heard of her.
Okay. Well, she's yeah. Am I pronouncing it wrong?
I have no idea. Never heard. Nope. Have no idea. No clue.
So she's saying she's Jeannie's cousin. And she's saying that when she was 12 years old, she spent the night over with Jeannie at the house there in Roy. And, huh?
This is all bull crap, man. These girls have all gotten together and come up with lies and now
I get it, Don, but I didn't even get to what she said. Yeah, let me get to what she says. Okay, you can tell me it's a lie. Well, you can tell me it's a lie. Let me tell you what she said. She said, Donnie came in the room in the middle of the night, moved my...
You know, the more I hear of this phone call between the detective from Roy, Utah, and Don, I just can't quite figure out. Obviously, it's a phone call. He's not sitting across from him. You know, on the phone, people are different as opposed to seeing someone in person. Had he been sitting across from him, I don't think he would have been trying to be all cool with him. He was just hoping to get some cheap evidence out of him. Had he flown out there, he could have sat across from him and had another detective and actually been able to read what he's doing. Mannerisms, body language, eye behavior, breathing patterns. He's on the phone. He's just on the phone. No one's scared of the phone. How many people will tell a bill collector, kiss my ass, don't bother me, but it's a big difference when they come to the door. You see, when people face each other, it all changes. I mean, it all changes. We get a different perception of people. We can talk to people on the phone all the time, but when we meet them, we're like, ooh, never mind. They mean business. Holy shit. That's the reason interrogation is so important. And it seems like interrogation practices failed epically in this case. Because you see, they can sit with them eye to eye, never take their eyes off of them. Detectives can lean up, they can lean back, they know how to act. And then they have what's called behavioral scientists that interrogate it. Interrogate the interrogation. They analyze it.
Underwear to one side and put something inside my vagina. She's like, I don't know if it was a finger or something else. I woke up. She says, I remember wetting myself and kicking him. And he got up and ran out of the room.
This is all bull crap. I'm trying to tell you, you're not listening. It's all
I'm
lies.
listening to you. I'm listening to you. I'm trying to read and I'm trying to explain to you the allegations and listen to you. Well, Donnie, so I guess
And the theft of the $20,000 from my dad, that would be Jeannie's firstborn daughter, stole $20,000 from my dad in cash money. Okay, I mean that's probably theft or something over, over 10,000. Or,
What a dipshit. He said, she stole $20,000 from my dad. I would think that'd be theft or something, over 10,000. His dad didn't report it. Then he said it was Mary. That his dad loaned her $20,000, which I'm doubting that quite a bit. And she never paid it back. So he thinks that this dude is going to go and talk to families about who loans people what money. $10,000 and $20,000 is a big difference. Truth. It goes from 20,000 to 10. They have no police report. His father didn't report it. That'd be like me calling and saying, hey, a cousin of mine got $500 from my cousin. A cousin of mine got $500 from my dad and never repaid it. They're going to be like, that's between them. That's between them. But they have 3 cases that they're trying to charge. Now, I don't know who the district attorney is, prosecuting attorney, assistant prosecuting attorney is in Roy, Utah. But when you have 3 women and a cooperating witness, we must have a huge issue. And all he wants to do is keep talking and talking and talking and talking about money they took. Let's go back to 2021. Don is about money. He is. He is. When he said, when Brad Washon was raising all that money for billboards and they never went up, he went and had Mexican food with the dude because he already knew him from before. He put him up to it. He put him up to it. They're having Mexican food. Who do you think got part of that money? Don and Candace don't give a rat's ass about anyone. No one. But when he got the call, his mama was sick. He says with MRSA, him and Candace showed up to take care of her. Well, and then lo and behold, look. 11 acres and a house are quit claim deeded right over to them before the old woman got to even die. You look at the Summer Wells reward. A reward should never be liquidated until the person is found or the ones responsible charged. Yet Summers, gone. It's with the Child Advocacy Center. Idiots out there will say, they always knew if they didn't find Summer in 6 months, that's where it's going to go. Well, you can't put a timeline. You can't put a timeline on a criminal investigation. Gotta be crazy. How many people people are going to go missing under Candace or Grandis's watch? Baby Kisses said she didn't know that the reward fund would go to the Child Advocacy Center. But then again, you'll have idiots saying, well, you should have read the Rogersville Review. Just gonna guess Baby Kisses doesn't live there.
What? I mean, you know.
So I will end with this. I keep calling you Donnie. Is that all right? I don't mind. I don't want to
care what she called me.
Okay.
Man, I miss. Give a damn less about me. I'm worried about somebody that actually matters.
No, that I do understand. I understand that pain. That's terrible. Have they got any good? You got any good leads on that one, or?
No, there's absolutely nothing. And FBI and TBI, which is Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and all that have been involved from the beginning. When it first happened, there was over 200 police agencies because we live in the mid United States, so they come from all over the United States trying to help us find her and locate her. And they flew a helicopter and an airplane for a week straight. When the airplane, they'd fly at night with infrared and just trying to look out. It's so dense with forest and everything like that, you know. But there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing, not one clue. We took the lie detector test, me and my wife, for TBI when this first happened, and we've passed the lie detector test, and there's just been absolutely nothing, just nothing but heartbreak. And that was my little girl. I loved her to death. That was, you know, and plus we got 3 boys besides that, you know, so we have 4 kids altogether.
Four. We have 4 kids all together. Now, he said all together. He said not between me and Can. He said all together. So his 2 children that he had with Pam, he didn't care. The 2 children that were taken from Candace in the state of Wisconsin, he said, we have 4 children altogether. My husband has 3 children. I have 3 children. So when I say, if I said we have 3 children altogether, that would be a lie. No, altogether we have 6. Because whether I gave birth to them or not, I still love them and they're still my family. Same with my husband. He'll say, oh yeah, those are my boys. Those are my boys. Those are my boys. Even though they're in their 30s.
And then it's bad enough all this going on, and then my stepsisters, start something that supposedly happened when we were kids or something, trying to say that I did this to my little girl and this and that. YouTube's.
Oh, I'm not trying to say that, Donnie. I'm not trying to say that.
No, not you, but them guys. I know you're not them, but it's just, it was all bad enough without all this, and then they just don't want me to have no part of my dad. They've always done this to me. My stepmother stole my dad from my mother. My poor mother has been dealing with this, so we lost.
His poor mother is deceased. His poor mother deeded her property over to Don and Candace. You can see it in the state records in the state of Tennessee. So little orphan Annie, they stole my daddy. 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 So you go and you do these things to your stepsisters in Utah. Where was your mom when that was going on? Why weren't you with your mom? Your mom doesn't know how to teach you how to act right? Your dad doesn't know how to teach you how to act right? They stole my daddy. They stole my daddy. They stole my daddy.
Or dad. My step family, they gained the dad, and my dad, supported them their whole life. Well, me and my real sisters lost my dad to them, and that's neither here nor there. But they've been doing this kind of thing to me my whole life.
Gotcha.
And I'm tired of them. They can go straight to where. I'm tired of them.
Well, Donnie, I still gotta do my job, and I know you were upset. Maybe you're still a little upset, but I got
doing this to me. They've been doing this to me my whole life.
No, I got
They've
you.
been pushing me around my whole life.
I got you.
Tired of them.
But here's the thing I was going to end with, Donnie, is there are some recorded conversations between yourself and Mary, and during these conversations, you mentioned.
Okay. Listen to this. There are some recorded conversations between you and Mary. He goes, liar, 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 liar. So he's trying to explain they have recorded conversations between him and Mary.
Between yourself and Mary, and during these conversations, you mentioned pulling. You said, "Yeah, I remember pulling Mitch Crisp off of you." So it sounded like you kind of remembered that. It sounded like you kind of remembered that incident.
I barely remember that incident, and nothing like what she's saying happened.
Okay,
they
so
were
what
playing
happened?
around.
All right.
They were playing around. They were playing around. I don't know. She's making something out of nothing because nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. I don't know if they was trying to get serious and trying to do something or what, but I told them to back off and stop, and I helped Mary get up or whatever. That's if I remember right, because I'm not sure that I even remember right, but it seems like I remember something like that. But it was so long ago, and it's like but I know that what she's saying, where they pulled her clothes off or whatever, is all bullcrap. And not only that, if you remember the recorded conversations, she said that her shirt was ripped or something a little bit or something like that.
She said all of you guys tried to take her clothes off.
No, that is such a big lie. Do you think one girl could stop three men? Really? Seriously? If that's what they was seriously trying to do?
Are you sick? He said, could one girl stop three men? Now he's remembering. He said she said something about her shirt being ripped. How could one girl stop three men? Now they're men. Before he was a child. Now he's a child. Now he's a man. Sorry. But before, he was a kid, didn't know better. How could one girl stop three men?
She's such a liar. That is such a lie. Nothing
So what?
like that
So what happened, Donnie? So I know what put this thing to bed.
In my vaguest memory, they was just playing around or something, but that.
That's not how we play around. We don't corner each other and rip clothes. That's not how we play around. And this detective is weak. And Roy, Utah needs to get a warrant, bring him over there, interrogate him without being on the phone, and get to the bottom of it. Because through the interrogation, in my opinion, is the only way you're going to get answers about Summer. Again, I'm not saying he did anything, but police cross cases all the time. They cross cases all the time, and this detective already knew that he's not going to say too much because he's already incarcerated. He didn't want to be left in there longer. So all he can say is they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. That's the reason he said, do not Miranda. He didn't want to have his rights read to him. That was the first thing. He even said, well, go ahead and do whatever you want. Don's been around the block many times. He knows. When he said he didn't want his rights read to him, it's because he knows anything he says can be used against him once his rights were read to him. That's the reason he kept saying, well, do what you want to do. This is not his first rodeo, my friends. Not his first rodeo. Whoever's in charge of this investigation in Roy, Utah, needs to go get Don, bring his ass to Roy, Utah, sit him in a room, an interrogation room with no windows. You know what I'm talking about. Or if they dare, go to Hawkins County and use one of theirs. But letting someone like Don run the conversation is scary, in my opinion.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Her clothes this is all lies. She's lying, man. She's the biggest liar on YouTube. She made Liar of the Year on YouTube, as a matter of fact. She's a liar. She's about drama. All these women on there.
I don't know anything about YouTube, but there's another.
You don't want to.
Yeah, you're right. So there's another recorded conversation, Donnie, where you actually kind of admit, you say you and Jeannie were playing house. You mentioned her putting her hand down your pants at one point. So, I mean, I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't ask you, you know, it sounds like maybe you remember a little bit more than you initially said.
Well, yeah, I don't know. This is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's all I got to say. This is all lies. It's all lies. Every bit of it. Like I said,
I was hoping you'd clear up this recorded call a little bit, though.
It's all lies. There you go. It's all cleared up. It's all lies. They're lying little witches trying to get me for anything they can to keep me away from my dad, like they always have. This is all bullshit.
And that might be true. I'm just trying to figure out what playing house means. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if you can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
I think what you're telling me is I think what you're telling me is I know you're not. So all right. So it is what it is, I guess. I'm left to I'm left with a recorded call about playing house and her sticking her hand down your
It's all
pants.
bullshit. Well, I can't. I mean, that's what she liked to do. I don't know. If that's what she said, I don't know.
What does she like to do?
I have no idea. I have no idea, bud. Man, how many years ago we talking about? We were little kids. How
That's what she likes to do. What can I say? That's what she liked to do. This is what he's saying to the detective. That's what she likes to do. What can I tell you, man? Take it how you want. This is what he's saying. That's what she likes to do. What can I tell you, man? I mean, don't even forget about don't tell you, bud. Don't tell you, bud. He thinks what he's doing is like talking to a dude, like, oh, you know how it is when these girls come on to you. We were just playing. How can 3 men, M-E-N, not kids anymore, he said she came on to me. Women are evil. She was 5. So they're going to have more information in Roy, Utah, in order to sit him down. Or as some people say, evidence. But he keeps bringing up YouTube. He's already admitted it. They're like, we have recorded conversations between. And he goes, yeah, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Hey, look, if somebody called me right now, recorded or not, and said, hey, did you put my hand down your pants? I've been like, no. You crazy? These were full-on assaults. And there's only a handful of people on YouTube that Don loves so much. He brings up YouTube because in these cases we've seen before, it's not just Don. Some people believe if they can convince social media, then it must be a slam dunk if they ever get in front of a jury. We don't go from I was a little kid to a man. He is confronted with recordings. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's you on the phone. It's you on the phone. He thinks because some YouTube creators have excused him, it's all well and good. We need a different detective. Or get a state agency involved.
What the hell are we talking about? How many? Come on, man.
We're talking about 70. What did I tell you? 79? No, 77, 78. Let me go back to it here.
I don't know, but it's all lies.
So she's saying,
Utah for
trying to answer your first question here, Donnie. So she's saying June, you don't want me to? All right. June 1977, and then the last incident was 85.
This is crazy. No, this is all lies.
Okay. Well, there again, there are allegations that need to be looked into, but so I'm trying to get to the bottom of 3 cases I've got right now.
These are all lies.
Well, you've got a very distinct voice, Donnie, and so does Mary.
I don't know what to tell you.
I've listened to the calls, and I was just hoping that you could give me some clarification on it. You mentioned, you're not gonna go into it. I can tell, but you do say some things.
To talk about. This is all lies. This is all bullshit. There was never anything like this. What they're trying to say. There's nothing like this.
Well, what was it then?
It was nothing. Absolutely nothing. No.
Okay. All right, Donnie. I think you've got. I think they gave me a time frame here on this call. I guess you have something else to do or something. Is there anything else I should know about or you want to say?
Yeah. Are we done here, sir?
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
All right, Donnie.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Have a good day. Have a good day. All right, so Jared Leisek, however you see his name, he was in Oregon when all hell broke loose. He has pled guilty. He will serve time, whether it be house arrest or whatever. He will have to, some way or another, pay the fiddler. Okay, he will. What is going on in Roy, Utah? It's like, how does Don Wells flop in these towns that just don't know how to interrogate, investigate, or anything? I don't get it. It's absolutely sick. If I was that detective, I would have taken that recording and I would have sent it to the State Bureau and said, go through this. Because if we picked up on changing from a kid to a man and saying, what can I tell you, bud? That's what she likes to do. They would be able to figure something out. They can't charge for it, but they can get deeper into it. It's absolutely disgusting. All right, you guys, we have a big show tomorrow. I've got a lot of stuff to go through, and I mean a lot. Because things are really welling up in another case, and I don't mean the Wells. But it's been a great Metabolism Monday. Are you all going to be here tomorrow? Are you going to be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time? Put a 1 in chat if you're going to be here. Come on. Come tell me. I need to know. Britt said yes. Sailor's going to be here. Joanne's going to be here. Sophia, Melanie, RD, Walking Dead. I like, wait, what? Said I'll try. I love that answer. That's awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your Monday. And get ready for tomorrow because I got a lot of things to say about tomorrow's case. And again, it's always an open panel. If you would love to grab the link and come up and tell me what you think. Now, if you come up and ask me a bunch of questions, guess what? I'm not the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's best to know what you're talking about. I know some people are like, well, I tried to grab the link, but if people come up and say, well, I don't know what happened here. Do you know? Come on. Come on. Come on. You grab the link, you come up and tell me what you think, and we have a conversation. All right? You guys are the absolute best. I love you to pieces. Thank you, Mod Squad. Thank you to you being amazing, amazing people. And I will see you back here tomorrow morning.